Hello viewers, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. In the last video, we discussed 3 4 modules of IELTS academic exam. We discussed IELTS academic exam in detail, and its 4 modules that are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. In this video, I'm going to discuss the IELTS listening module in detail, or the types of questions that you can expect in IELTS listening exam, and some of the tips you can implement to achieve higher band in the IELTS listening exam. Before we start the video or this lecture, I want to make one thing very clear, that IELTS listening is perhaps the easiest module in IELTS. All you have to do is to listen to the recordings and then transfer the answer on the answer sheet, and it is not very difficult, especially if you have a high level of English, or if you are very proficient in English, then you can easily solve the IELTS listening exam. But still, there are some tips, tricks, and techniques that you can employ, or you can implement to secure higher bands in the IELTS listening exam. But before we delve into the details of all the IELTS academic exam module, it is better to discuss the types of questions you can encounter in IELTS listening exam. So let us start our video. And before we move forward, I want to present a summary of the IELTS listening exam. Is IELTS listening exam, and what you can expect in this exam, that is IELTS listening. So the duration is 30 minutes, as we discussed in the previous video, and it is divided into 4 sections, not 3 sections. There is a mistake that I have mentioned, that is divided into 3 sections. It is actually divided into 4 sections or 4 recordings. The format: you listen to 4 audio recordings in the form of monologues and conversations between native English speakers. We discussed in the previous video that all these 4 recordings are the monologues. For example, a person would be speaking about his experience in a university, or it can be an introductory. It can be an introduction to a tour, or to a university, or to a course, or it can be a conversation between the 2 native English speakers, or more than 2 native English speakers. There are 10 questions for each part of listening text. There are 4 recordings, and each recording will have 10 questions, and each recording will be played only once. So we discussed these things in detail in the previous video. So it is a short summary of what IELTS listening exam is. So now we move forward to our main topic, that is the types of questions in IELTS listening exam. So there are 10 main types of questions. There may be other types of questions, but the main types of questions that you can see in IELTS listening exam are, there are 10 main types of questions. Also keep in mind that not all these 10 types of questions are asked in every exam. For example, your next exam will have 4 of these types, or 5 of these types, or 3 of these types, or the exam after the next exam will have 6 of these types, or 2 of these types, or 3 of these types. So each IELTS listening exam has a combination of these the question types. Not every exam will have all these types of all 10 types of questions. They will have a combination of questions. There are a set of questions, but these are the 10 types of questions you can expect, or you will see in different IELTS listening exams. So moving forward to our first type of question. The first type of question is sentence completion. As the name suggests, the sentence completion is more like a fill in the blanks, or the fill the gap type of questions. You have to complete the sentences by listening the audio and filling in the missing words. Okay, you will present it with the questions, fill in the types question, or fill in the gaps types question. You have to listen to the audio recording, and from that audio recording you have to extract the answers and fill in those and use those answers to fill in those gaps or blanks. You may have to fill a missing word, or add a word at the end of the sentence to complete it. The gap can be in the middle of a question, or in the end of the question. For example, you have to add a missing word at the end of the question to complete the sentence. Okay, and sometimes you can only write 1 or 2 words in the blank spaces. Sometimes the explanation or the introduction mentions that you can write only 1 word, or the 2 words, or 3 words in the missing space. You need to keep careful note of the number of the words. Writing more words than allowed will mark your answer as incorrect even if you provide the correct information. You have to note down the number of the words you can write in the missing space. If you write more than those words, even the information you provide is correct, even the answer is correct, your answers will be marked as incorrect. Okay. Now let us see the example of sentence completion question. So this is an example of the sentence completion. As you can see, the complete the sentence below. Then this is the instructions. Keep careful note of this instruction. Write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. There are 4 questions and you have to complete the sentence by adding the missing word, and you cannot write more than 3 words or a number for each answer. For example, the tour cost $100. These are 2 words. You cannot write 4 words or you cannot write more than 3 words or a number. Okay. Otherwise, your answer will be marked as incorrect even if the information is correct. So this is the example of the sentence completion. You have to complete the sentence by adding the missing words or numbers, and you cannot write more than the specified number of words or numbers. In the sample question above, you can write no more than 3 words for each of the 4 questions. We have discussed it before, already discussed it. Okay, the most important thing to keep in mind that questions do not normally have exact words that you listen in the recording. That the formation is usually rephrased. Not only in IELTS listening, even in IELTS reading, the questions will be rephrased. They will not have the exact wording you listen in the recording or you read in the passage. They will always use paraphrasing and synonyms. So you have to be very careful. You have to listen the recordings very careful, because if you don't, you can easily miss the answer, because it will not have the question will not have the exact same wording as you listen in the recording. There will always be paraphrasing or synonyms will be used. For example, uh, for the speaker may say the total expenditure instead of the tour cost. Take a look at the question number 7. The tour cost as dash 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 dollars, but in the recording you may listen that the total expenditure of the tour. So the meaning is the same, that but the wording is different. They have used the paraphrasing. So be very careful, because there will always be paraphrasing or synonyms in the question, and you have to you cannot miss the recording, or you cannot miss the words or recording. Otherwise your question will be marked as incorrect, or you won't be able to give the right answer. So this is the first type of question, sentence completion. Moving on to question type number 2, matching. Matching are the most common types of question in section 1. You need to listen to a conversation between 2 people and note the details. Okay. You are given 2 option list and must match the items in both lists. Okay. It is more like these types of questions are very common in your school exams as well. You are given a list on the one side and then another list on the other side, and you have to match the similar items or things. Okay. So for example, you have to match the description A4 with hotels A in the following example. The example is on the next page. We are going to look at it very soon. Again, answers will have synonyms and paraphrasing. For example, the speaker may say you can arrange business meetings instead of offers facilities for business functions. Okay, so let us see that the example. Okay, this is the example of matching question. So uh, question 1 to 4, what hotel matches each description? Okay, you have to match these hotels with the description given in the bottom. Okay, given at the bottom. Okay, the bridge hotel you have to match with the one of these 4 descriptions. Carlton hotel, similarly you have to match it with one of these descriptions. The Imperial hotel, the Majestic hotel, the Royal Oak. So this is how you you solve the matching questions. You have to match the different items from 2 lists, and write the answer in the space given. Okay. So coming back to paraphrasing, for example, say, take a look at this question. Offer facilities for business solutions, but in the recording you may hear you can arrange business meetings. So paraphrasing and synonyms is extensively used in on questions, and you must have high level of vocabulary to find the meanings of the words you listen in the recording, and then to match them with their meaning in the answers. So this is the matching type of question. The third type of question is multiple choice. It is for me, I think, the most common types or the most famous types of questions you would find anywhere, not only in IELTS exam but in other exams as well. As the name suggests, you have to pick the right answer from a short list, usually having three options. Okay, the list usually have three options, and you have to find the correct answer. You must listen very carefully because answers usually sound very similar in meaning. Listen to the recording very carefully because answers usually sound very similar in meaning. They all seem to have the same meaning, and so it becomes very difficult to pick the right answer. So you have to listen to the recording very carefully. And another thing, just do not select the first answer you hear because it may seem the right answer, but after listening to the after further listening to the radio, you may find that this is not the correct answer, but the correct answer is option number 2 or the option number C or B instead of option number A, which you selected initially. In the sample test, the answers to question 21 to 23 are either option A, B, and C, as I mentioned above. Expect synonyms and paraphrasing. Once again, you must expect synonyms and paraphrasing in the questions. For example, the speaker may say the course lasts for 12 months instead of one whole year. So this is the example of multiple choice question. As you see, there is a question and you have worked at the hospital for, and there are three options from which you have to choose the correct answer. Okay, and moving forward to our question number 4, question type number 4, summary completion. The IELTS listening exam becomes progressively difficult. Summary completion questions usually come in the last section or section 4. As you hear the recordings, they become progressively more difficult, and summary completion is a rather difficult type of question, and it is usually come in the last or the section 4. Summary completion consists of recording usually about a monologue or an academic subject such as global warming. You must fill in the missing word in the summary. It is similar to sentence completion, but instead of a different question, it is a whole summary, and you have to complete the summary by adding the missing words. The summary will also use synonyms and paraphrasing. Keep in mind that section 4 as a whole is the most challenging part of the listening test. So, okay, summary will also have synonyms and paraphrasing. We have discussed these things many times now, and keep in mind that the section 4 is the most difficult part of the IELTS listening exam as a whole. The following example is a summary of a lecture on saving for the future with 5 pieces of information missing which you have to fill. Okay, this is the example of summary completion. Okay, it is about the recording is about saving for the future, and it has 5 pieces of information missing, or you have to add 5 words to complete this summary after listening to the recording. And once again, you cannot write more than 3 words for each question. Okay, so the missing words are the actually questions, question number 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40, and you have to listen to the recording and add these words in the summary to complete this summary. And you cannot write more than 3 words or a number for each answer. Okay, it is very similar to sentence completion, but instead of individual question, it is a whole summary which you have to complete by adding the missing words or filling in the blanks. Okay, got it? So moving on to the next type of question, the short question answer. The fifth type of questions you can expect in IELTS listening exam is the short question answers. Short question and answers require you to identify specific information about a topic. Okay, they typically appear in section 2, which is usually a monologue set in a social context such as introduction to a new class. Short answer and questions, you have to specify or find an information about a specific topic. The topic will be usually set in a social context such as an introduction to a new class, introduction to a new course, introduction to a TV program, anything set in social context. The monologue will be about that topic. You write your answer in the provided blank spaces while you listen to the recording. Okay, where sometimes you have to write more than two answers. For example, on which floors are the library and the canteen located? Okay, so it is actually that you have to write the two answers for this question: on which floors are the library and the canteen located. The canteen may be located on another floor, and the library may be located on other floor. So that this question will have two answers. Okay. Look out for details such as how many words or numbers you can write in the answer. I have discussed this thing many times before. You have to write for the number. You have to look out for the number, maximum number of words or numbers you can write as an answer. In the sample, you can write only one word or number for each answer. Okay, this is the sample of the short answer questions. In the sample test below, you can write only one word or number for each answer. Answer the question below. Write no more than one word or a number. Okay. Details or instructions are given for every type of question. You have to keep this instruction in mind. You have to be very careful about these instructions, because if you don't follow these instructions, your question will be marked as incorrect. Okay. How much money did the charity receive when it won an award? Okay, you can write 500. Okay, 500, $500. If you have to write $500, simply write 500. Okay, what is the charity currently hoping to buy? Okay, it is hoping to buy a house. You just have to write house, not a house or house. You cannot write it the charity wants to buy a house or charity is hoping to buy a house. You simply have to write house, because you cannot write no more than one word for each answer. So what is the charity currently hoping to buy? Instead of writing that the charity is currently hoping to buy a house, you just have to write house, not even a house in the question number as an answer to the question number 17. Got it? Okay, if you have any more questions related to these types of question, these question types, you can ask me in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to answer. I'm just quickly going through these question types, because the video is getting too long and it is already 17 minutes long, and I have to cover 5 more question types. So I'm quickly going through the question types, and if you want to learn anything new or want to ask more questions, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, moving on to next question types: notes completion. Note completion can take many different forms. You may expect such types of question in section 1. Note completion is usually come out in section number 1. It is similar to sentence completion, but they are presented in the form of notes. Note completion is also very similar to sentence completion, but instead of individual questions, you have to provide the answers in a table format. Okay, or sorry, in the form of notes. For example, you may have to fill in the missing words in the notes taken from a lecture. Okay, the notes may be taken from a lecture or an introduction or a TV program or a monologue, and you have to write the missing words to complete those notes. Once again, before, be careful about the number of words or numbers you can write as an answer. I cannot exert more importance on this point. You have to keep a note of the number of words or numbers you can write an answer. The sample note is about a dream time travel agency with 4 pieces of information missing. Okay, so this is the example of notes completion. It is also mentioned on the top that complete the notes below. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Okay, dream type travel agency, 2 word information. The 2 word information is provided in the form of notes, and you have to complete these notes by filling these blanks or adding missing words to these answer, or adding or writing answers in this in the provided space. Okay, type of transportation, maximum group size, next tour date, hotel name. As you can see, it is very similar to sentence completion or summary completion, but the information is provided in the form of notes, and you have to complete those notes by adding the missing words or answers. Got it? Okay, now we quickly move forward to our next question type: form completion. Form completion is a common type of question in section 1, but also appears in the other section. Form completion is usually a common type of question in section 1, but you can expect to see the forms in other section as well. It is usually a conversation between two people, such as a telephone call, hotel booking, pizza delivery, etc. Uh, 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 as you Whenever you order a pizza or book a hotel or book a flight, you usually have to make a call to the travel agent or customer the support assistant, and you have to provide your details which the customer support with the travel agent or the pizza delivery guy fills in the form. And after filling the form, it receives your information and put it in the form, and after the form is complete, the pizza is delivered to your house or your hotel is booked. So it is usually a conversation between two people, such as a telephone call, hotel booking, pizza delivery. Okay, the form completion is relatively easy because you can predict the missing information while listening to the recording. Okay, it is one of the most easiest types of question because you can easily predict what the speaker is going to say while listening to the recording. Sometimes, however, the initial information can be distracting. For example, the customer may provide wrong information but correct it later on. However, you have to be very careful, just not write the first answer you hear or the first word you hear, because sometimes the speaker provides the wrong information at the start but corrects it later on. And then if you write the first information as answer, then your answer will be incorrect. So you have to listen the recording very carefully and only try to write the correct answer. The following form is about a customer inquiry made to the Mintos Cormart. Okay. Okay, this is the example of form completion. As you can say, complete the form below. Write no more than 3 words and a number for each answer. Minton's car mart custom inquiry. As we mentioned above, the form completion questions will be about a conversation between two people, usually a telephone call, and it is a telephone call where a customer is inquiring about the different types of about a specific car model. Okay, it has 8 questions, and you have to listen to the recording and complete this form. Okay, the name is Linda. Engine size, you have to write what engine size they are talking about, what type of gears they are talking about, what is the preferred color, and customer wishes to range, what does the customer wishes to arrange, name of the customer, title, address. So you have to listen very carefully to the recording and complete the form. So this is the form completion type of question. Hope you understand. The next is table completion. Just like most of the question types in IELTS listening exams, you have to fill in the missing words in the table completion as well. The table will have columns and rows containing information. It is also very similar to form completion or note completion or sentence completion, but the information is provided in the table format. Hope you have already understood. The table categorizes information and put the related or similar information in one group. Okay. The sample table is about the types of baby cots and which is more suitable to the requirement. There are 9 pieces of information missing in the table. As you can also see, you cannot write more than 3 words for each answer. So this is the table. Complete the table below. It is very similar to the notes or to the form completion or summary completion or fill or sentence completion, but this time the information is provided in the table. Okay. One thing I would want to tell you about table completion is that table completes table categorizes relevant or similar information, and all the information or questions in the table will be related or similar to each other, or will be about one specific topic or one specific product or one specific subject. Okay, so this is the table. As you can say, the information is divided into table, and you have to listen to the recording and write the missing words or answer in these provided spaces to complete the table. Okay, next is the flowchart completion. Flowchart completion is slightly different to other types of questions in our listening exam. A flowchart shows the steps of a process. Okay, there may be a conversation about the steps of a process. The process will have a start and end with several steps in between. As you can expect, a flowchart always have a start and an end with several steps, and it explains several steps in between. The flowchart questions could be about almost anything that can be broken down into stages. For example, the outline of a lecture or essay, or the application process, the stages of training course, or short manufacturing process. The flowchart could be about any of these things, which can you break down into stages. Okay, you can create a flowchart of a lecture. You can create a flowchart of an application. That you can create a flowchart about a training course or a short manufacturing process. The sample flowchart shows different stages of producing bakelite. Okay, it is a conversation between two people, an expert and a student, where the earlier is explaining how the bakelite is produced. In the example, an expert is explaining the stages of producing bakelite to a student. Okay, so this information is converted into a flowchart, and flowchart will have missing information which you have to provide after listening to the recording. There are 8 questions you have, and you can write only one word for each answer. Okay, I think you have already understood this process. And this is the example of a flow chart. Okay, the production of bakelite. You can write only one word for the answer. Write your answer in boxes 4 to 8 on your answer sheet. So the production of bakelite starting from phenol and formaldehyde, and then it explains all the stages of the production of bakelite, and you have to provide the missing information to complete the flowchart. Okay, the last type of question is diagram, plan, map, labeling. It can be 3 different types of questions, but they are related to very much similar to each other, very much related to each other. So I have categorized them as a single type of question, and you have to label a diagram of something, a map of a specific location, or a building plan. Okay, they will provide you with a plan, a map, a diagram, and you have to label that diagram, map, or plan after listening to the while you listen to the recording. Diagram, maps, and plans already have labels and clues to missing words, making it much easier for the students to complete. Keep one thing in mind, that you don't have to label the entire diagram or plan. Some part of the diagram or map will already be labeled, so making it easier for you to label the missing information. Okay, in addition to labeling, you may be given a list of options to choose the answers from. Sometimes the map doesn't have any list of options. You just have to listen to the recording and then label the diagram or the map or plan. Sometimes you are provided with a list of answers or options as well, and you have to pick the corresponding or the relevant or the right answer from the list and write it in the its specific place in the answer sheet, so which it makes it even easier to complete the diagram or label the diagram. In the sample question, you have to label the map about proposed traffic changes in Granford. You also have a list of answers to choose your answers from. Okay, this is the example of the diagram. You can see some part of it is already labeled, so you just have to label points F, G, H, I, E, D, C, B, and A. And as you can see, some of it is already labeled, such as bank, chemist, supermarket, library, and you also have a list of options to choose from. For example, the answer to question number A will be new traffic lights or pedestrian crossing or parking allowed. So that you have to listen to the recording, then you can go through the list of options and choose the corresponding options for question A to question F. So with this, so these are the 10 types of questions in IELTS listening exam. I hope you have a good idea of these questions after watching this video. Still, if you have any questions or any query or any ambiguity, you can ask me in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. And please do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for and I will see you in the next video, which will be about the types of question in IELTS reading exam. Since then, thank you. Till then, thank you very much.